Hey, yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the newest edition of the Bronx Muchachos podcast, brought to you by 5 Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host, Mark, and tonight we got everybody with us. We got David.
Greetings.
Oh, don't sound so happy, brother. We got Alex.
I'm not.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hope you have a friend in me because I don't need a friend right now.
And to bring everyone back up to a normal setting is we got Danny with us too.
What up? What up? Someone pissed in Dave's cereal this morning, so he just woke up angry. But we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
We're gonna be okay. Yo, and for everyone else, just remember, do your thing here. You like, subscribe, rate, review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Network, some of our other platforms like iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Don't forget to click the like button below and the subscribe button for YouTube. And especially don't forget to go to our LinkedIn or Linktree, our link.tree/Real Bronx Muchachos for any and all sponsors that we have, especially SeatGeek. Use our code, all capital letters, Bronx Muchachos. Get yourself some tickets to games 3, 4, hopefully game 5, all that stuff. Spend the money on beers with your savings. Get some other gear. Rep the team. It's only game 1, boys. Only game 1.
I called it.
Hey, these things bound to listen. I'm going to say this. It's bound to happen. The one thing I don't like is the 17 strikeouts. That was the big thing. You can't, Matt Carpenter going 0 for 4 with 4 Ks, and it's never a good thing. Josh Donaldson 0 for 3 with a walk and 3 strikeouts.
He looked like a statue. It looked like we could have put a mannequin in Macy's there. It would have been a better batter.
Oh no, you're right. I mean, but those two weren't the only ones. I mean, Glaber went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Trevino went 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Connor Falefa went 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Bader went 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Rizzo and Judge also had to strike out a piece as well. But I mean, this is the formula that will carry the team to 15 straight wins, and it also can turn around and have they can get swept out of this postseason real fast because they cannot string hits together, or when they get a couple guys on, it's still they just don't have that contact. It's boomer bust type of action. And honestly, in the first few innings, we could have knocked Verlander out of this game with the quickness. They just couldn't get the hits done.
Yeah.
And it's not by no stretch of this is it a the only thing I don't like that Boone did today was with Clark Schmidt. That was my only knock on him. Other than that, it was the hitting that let us down today, and that's where I'm going to leave it off. We'll go Danny. What are your thoughts?
We had 4 at-bats, 4 opportunities with runners in scoring position. We had 7 runners on. We went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts in those situations. The culprits were Josh Donaldson and Matt Carpenter. That's what cost us the game. We had an opportunity there early, second and third, 1 out. Donaldson, that first pitch that he swung at, it was a good pitch to hit. It was a slider over the middle, and he swung and missed. Then it was a 97-mile-per-hour fastball on the outside corner, swung and missed, and then 98 up in the zone. So there's a second out in that inning, and then Carpenter comes up, and he puts up a pretty decent at bat. The umpire helped him out with a couple strikes there, but in that situation, you got to find a way to put the bat on the ball, right? I think that kind of, how we put 2 runs right there. It's a 3-1 ball game. Taillon pitched well enough to get into the 5th. I don't think anybody really expected him for him to even get that far. So the fact that he did, it's a good thing. No strikeouts, 3 walks. He didn't have his best stuff, but he battled. Schmidt in that situation, I'm not sure. Personally, so I said this from the onset. I thought Schmidt would be like a dark horse, like dude in the bullpen to do good. and he just has not done well. I think we should just kind of lean away from Clark Schmidt unless we have to use him in an emergency situation. Boone's favorite word.
Danny, putting Schmidt in that situation was the problem. Unless he was in there at the top of the inning, of the start of the inning, that would have been the situation for him.
That's all.
Oh my gosh, I'm coming in like that. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to. That Schmidt is not that. He's not that dude. Like I prefer Trevino with guys on. I prefer Schmidt to be starting innings off without runners on. It's kind of been proven time and again now that he's not the dude to go to with runners on. We saw that in Toronto when he gave up that walk-off to Vladdy. Then we saw it again in the Guardian series, and we're seeing it one more time today. So 3 times is enough. You're out. That situation is not for you. Move on from that. Hopefully Boone makes that adjustment moving forward. It was good to see Frankie on the mound. It was not good to see him hit that, give up that homer. It was a spinning slider, and Jeremy Pena, he's a real deal, and he sent that deep into left field seat. So overall, not the game that we wanted. 17 strikeouts is unacceptable. Flat out, bottom line, period, is unacceptable. Cannot have that in a playoff series, in a playoff game. Even during the regular season, you'd scratch your head at that. And the disparity between the 2 Ks that Houston had and the 17 Ks the Yankees had, Yankees bats were definitely lagging behind. And I'm not sure if that's a product of last night till tonight or what, but hopefully they get a good night's rest in Houston and they come ready to play tomorrow. We got 70 on the bump. You just got to win tomorrow. That's what it is. We have to win one game in Houston. Tonight wasn't the night. Tomorrow hopefully will be that night.
I definitely agree with you. I definitely think that tomorrow's got to be the time. I mean, Taillon didn't pitch badly. I think they just had a really quick hook for him. The trust that is not there with Taillon either. But that's neither here nor there. Like you said, like I said, the only thing my big complaint with Boone only was when he used Clark Schmidt. I will not knock him for 17 strikeouts because that's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? So, but Alex, what do you think about it? Oh, sorry, Danny, go for it.
One more point. I understand the quick hook. Third time facing Pena, or it might have been Alvarez. Third time facing Alvarez, you don't want Taillon doing that. I wouldn't want Taillon facing Alvarez for a third time. That's for sure.
No, you're right about that, but I mean, he still had a really good pitch count, 66 pitches. I mean, you could. It's a 1-1 game. I mean, you could have rolled the dice at that point, or even turn around, did exactly what they did, walk Pena or walk Alvarez, and then just face everybody else behind him. You could have gone down that road. I just thought that I personally don't think that the trust is there right now in Taillon to push forward, even though he wasn't pitching badly at all. So that's just the observation.
I think you just stole my thunder, Mark, because I think that's where the area I was going to go in. I would have probably put the gamble in for that move as well, because like from what I was watching, I was like, the pitch count's low. It's a gamble. I mean, is it a tough gamble? Yeah, but now, like, how do we sound now? We're over here saying what ifs, but it is what it is. Like, we just got to take it now. We just got to suck it up, and the team needs to come out tomorrow, and instead of what the announcers were saying about, game 2 is when a team would be more tired from after playing basically in 3 cities in 4 days. I don't really care about that. I think I need the team tomorrow to go out there like champs and do what they got to do and show dominance, because the only way I could see us winning this series is still in 5. And we have to win one in Houston to get to 5. Because when the minute they go to the Bronx, I have no doubt that this team will do what they have to do in the Bronx. But it's on the road in that stadium. There is something up with the air and the water in Houston that just has it that the team does not perform the way they need to perform. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, this whole game was extremely aggravating. I get it; it's game one, but I wanted to see this team come out and punch this team right in the mouth. I'm still pissed about 17 and 19. I don't care how many years go by; it's still going to piss me off until they can find a solution to beat this team. Every time we have a successful season, we run into this team like a brick wall in the playoffs, and they just can't figure it out. I mean, I get it. Boone can't control what the guys do at the plate, but when you have the 5 through 9 hitters combining for 13 out of the 17 strikeouts, it's time to pull someone out of the game and put someone else in the batter's box. Matt Carpenter should not have been allowed up there to strike out 4 times. Josh Donaldson should not have been allowed to be up there and strike out 3 times. This whole perception that Oswald Peraza is nothing more than a pinch runner is complete trash. If there was a Gold Glove award for the minor leagues, he'd probably win it. He's a proven shortstop. Let the kid play. You know, Carpenter had 3 strikeouts. Cabrera should have been in the batter's box swinging the bat. And they left 11 guys on base. The whole offense went 5 for 33 with 11 guys left on base. That's unacceptable. I'm sorry. They had Justin Verlander on the ropes in the first 3 innings of that game. And what happened? Carpenter comes out, strikes out with guys on base. Donaldson comes up, strikes out with guys on base. Second and third, nonetheless. I'm tired of it. And, Schmidt got away with one getting a double play and then came back out and completely took a dump on the mound. It's maddening. I just don't get it. I don't get why they cannot beat this team in Houston. They are now 1-7 in postseason play in Houston, Texas.
Well, this season they've only won 2 games against the Astros.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Astros, like we were dominating the Astros. It's not like we dominated the Astros in Yankee Stadium. I mean, only 2 wins means that we haven't been doing well.
I know. I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm sick of I'm sick of that team. I'm sick of their players. Some of that fan base. I cannot. It's just I just cannot stand them.
I get it, right, Dave. I get it. They're right now basically. They have the hate of what we would have for Boston in the playoffs back in the day. Okay, that's the hate that that's what the hate that we have towards Houston, and I see it, and it sucks. And like I keep saying it, we need to get over the hump of Houston. If we cannot get over the hump of Houston, we're never going to be World Series caliber team ever.
Nope.
No, I know.
So
go for it, Alex. Sorry.
Go ahead. So, no, go ahead. No.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, to piggyback what you guys were saying. David in the chat was sitting there saying that he goes, Houston's better, and that's kind of it's a done deal at that point. Houston's better. Jeremy King was saying he thinks Houston's better top to bottom, and they're right. I mean, they have better their organization. They are producing a lot more homegrown talent and more top end talent from their minor leagues than we are producing, and that's something that organizationally has to change. That's something that the analytics department needs to turn around, and they need to figure out what they're looking at. What the numbers they're looking at are incorrect, because there's other teams that are doing something better, and they're figuring out. They're figuring out the cheat codes where we're not figuring them out.
I think the cheat code is exactly what they did and what now the Braves are doing, which is trying to work on the young. They have a mode, but they are working young, trying to do contracts for young players, young good players, instead of getting rid of them. And that's probably something that the Yankees need to look at a lot for next season. Like, we do have a very good farm system. There are players that we're going to have to make moves of, and we can talk about that whenever this season is over. Hopefully it's in November, because I don't want to talk about it at all this month. But that's nor here nor there right now. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to try to be pissed today. This is game one.
We're bound to lose a game in this series. We're bound to lose a game. Houston is a very, very good team. They're very formidable. If we were going to lose a game in this series, it's probably going to be, like Alex said, the one that was most likely going to be the outcome. We got Sevy, Cole, Nestor coming up, games 2, 3, and 4. We got our 3 horses lined up, ready to roll. When we need the offense to pick up the pace. Houston's pitching is really good. I like the Rizzo homer against Montero. I like the Harrison Bader homer off of Verlander. I anticipate Josh Thompson moving out of that 5 hole. I think we've all collectively, as a unit, never really liked him in that spot anyway. Let's get Ozzie in there. Let's see what consistent at bats, what Carpenter will get us. I'm hopeful that we're gonna find a way. The homers today by Schmidt, man, you don't want to see that, and it's kind of an outlier based on what he did during the regular season with the homers, at least against right-handed batters. He only gave up 2 homers to right-handed batters the entire season, 50 innings, 56 plus innings, and he gave up 2 in that inning. So, but even with that, you gotta move on from Schmidt. One thing that the Astros did this year, bro, like they put Jeremy Pena at short,
and we have a shortstop that didn't come in until what, the 8th inning.
Yeah, and our shortstop's nothing more than a pinch runner, like
right. But it's
trash.
It's deeper than that. We could have started Peraza in May. We could have done that, 100%. But they wanted to go the whole IKF stopgap route and pay him $6.5 million when he could have paid, Peraza literally $500,000. Well,
$750. They could have paid him
$6.5 million could get you a decent reliever that could close out a baseball game.
Yep. So that's the fatal flaw at this point in time, that they fell in love with IKF and the thought of IKF being something more than what he actually is. And I don't see where they thought he was going to be more than 260 hitter and marginal defense at short. Because I could almost guarantee you Peraza would have given you similar to better defense and a lot more power, similar to what Jeremy Pena is doing now. 22 homers, 63 RBIs. He had like 270. Peraza could have done that at the big league level if he started in May.
Oh, Peraza would definitely have done that in the big league level. And don't forget, let's go back. One Fazio Boxer was telling us that we need more contact hitters. I agree with you there.
Absolutely.
Not in the sense of getting rid of all the power that we have, but in the sense that we need guys that can continue to move the line instead of getting too.
We need the bottom of the order to step up and get on base, whether it's via a walk or a hit.
Well, yeah. Well, the bottom of the line. Well, I mean, you're what? You're 6, 7, 8, 9 guys combined for 2 hits today. So and one of those was a home run. And the strikeouts from there were 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 out of the 17. 10 out of the 17.
Last 3.
Yeah, 10 out of the 17 strikeouts came from the bottom of the lineup. So I mean, you're right, Danny. The bottom line needs to change. Hopefully, they kind of sit down. The brain trust gets together and says, "Okay, let's start making some moves around here. Let's start getting people. There's people slumping, get them out, put other people in." I hope that tomorrow we see Peraza at shortstop, IKF at third base. Because don't forget, IKF won a Gold Glove at third base, not shortstop. So, and going back to your point, Danny, about why the Yankees fell in love with him, it's a Cashman thing. Cashman fell in love with IKF. He always thought that he can be this, not just a utility guy, but he could play shortstop for a while because he's seen him at shortstop, saw him at third base, all these other positions. We found out that he can't really play shortstop that well. Cashman also said that during the lockout that Oswald Peraza is a Gold Glove caliber defensive shortstop and was going to be ready mid-year. That May, June, I think more June time that he would be ready to take over at a major league team. They brought him up in September and just let him sit. And I think at that point they were fully invested in the whole Donaldson, IKF, Ben Rovit deal, and they had to prove that deal was going to work. And they did it to the detriment of not just Peraza, but they did it to the detriment of IKF because now we've dealt with this 2020. 2021 with a non-shortstop playing shortstop in Gleyber Torres. Now we did it again in 2022. 2023 better have Peraza as your starting shortstop, moving IKF as your utility type of guy, and figure something out between Torres and Donaldson. Both could go. I know you're a Torres guy. I'm not trashing Torres right now. He had a bad game, whatever. But I think that if you can move Torres to get something better, then move him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But Torres,
that's another time.
Yeah, Torres is hitting 136 this postseason, which is unlike Gleyber, but he did have almost 2 weeks off with him being sick and that 5-day layoff. So I don't know if he gets a pass for that, but he's certainly not performing, and we need him to get going at the top of that lineup. So we got Framber tomorrow, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, Framber, then Javier, then McCullers. David wrote in the chat.
Okay, so with Framber, the lefty on the bump, you're probably going to still see GT, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton. Now, it's going to be interesting beyond that because with the lefty, are you going to start Carpenter? He does have pretty decent lefty numbers, left-on-left numbers, but are you going to put Cabrera in that DH spot? You're going to put him at third, Peraza at short, still keep Giancarlo on left. There's a couple different ways we could go with that. I think Higgy's going to get the start tomorrow, though. With Sevy on the bump. Treffy has not looked good.
Oh no, offensively Treffy's not look good at all.
Yeah.
But even Hickey came in. He didn't look that well offensively either. I mean, his two week boom has come back down to he's come back to earth again.
Yeah, but I'm still going to be out the lineup tomorrow.
I'm gonna say one thing as a positive for sure about this Yankee team compared to what we've had in the past is that we have this opportunity that we could actually make adjustments on how we set our lineup and how we have who we have as position players in the rotation compared to like previous years that's like very set in stone who we had. So it's like we saw what we were going to get from almost the whole series. It felt like. Maybe not in the bullpen, but in like positional players, it felt like it was always the same people all the time. So this one works out a little better.
Yeah, we definitely got some depth. So I want to see Hickey get some ABs. I want to see Cabrera in there tomorrow, despite it being a lefty. I don't want to see Donaldson anywhere near this lineup, but he may because he is better against lefties. But Framber's got that bowling ball of a sinker.
Are you sure?
It'll be interesting to see.
Like, come on, Danny. Let's be real. Like, we've seen Donaldson all season long. Like, we've been complaining about Donaldson all season long.
Yeah, no, he can't hit righties.
200s all season long. He can't.
He can't hit righties. I don't have it in front of me, but I know for a fact that he hit lefties better than he did righties. He hit like maybe 200 against righties. And I don't have it in front of me, but I just know it. I just know it, and from what I've seen. So Donaldson hits lefties better. So maybe he still gets the nod. Maybe you get Cabrera over at short, IKF to the bench, and it'd be interesting to see what they do with that DH spot tomorrow.
I'd rather see Bader leading it off or Cabrera leading it off. Gleyber's not doing well in the leadoff spot, so I'd knock him down to number 5, his original batting spot in the order. I would put IKF at third, Peraza at short, put Giancarlo back as the DH, and put Cabrera back in left field. That's what I would do. And it doesn't matter if it's a left-hander or not with Cabrera because he's a switch hitter anyway. So lefty's going to bat right-handed, and righty's going to bat left-handed. So that's
he's not strong from the right side. He's not as good from the right side though.
You got to figure something out. You got to throw something at the wall and see if it sticks.
I think I would want to try to make the lineup a little bit stronger for the later part of it and put Gleyber in the 2-hole, so that way it gives Judge more. I'm tired. I think we need to have Judge see more stuff while he's getting ready in that first inning, and then we could have 2 men on base. I would rather have a 3-run home run than a 2-run home run, and we need all the home runs we could get.
Well, the problem
No.
is they need to get people on base in front of Judge. The problem is, like tonight, the leadoff guy was not getting on base. It was everybody after Judge that was getting on base. That was the problem. So if you got someone in the leadoff spot to actually get on base or draw a walk, that opens the door for some damage to be done early in the game.
But I don't see him going to do that. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, okay, I'm keeping your whole entire lineup that you had. Just put Torres in 3, or whoever you want to put in 3. I don't care who right now, but let Judge. Into, and let Judge be in the 3 hole, because like I want Judge to get as much as he can see coming up, because I'm tired of this. It's playoff baseball. I want people doing better.
Well, tonight Judge didn't hit anyway. He went 0 for 4, but
The whole
Stanton
lineup
was
didn't hit.
well, Stanton went 2 for 4 today. So if you want to move around a little bit, Stanton has been one of those guys that gets hot in the playoffs. If you want to move Stanton up to the 2 hole and move Judge down a little bit, I'm with that. Keeping Rizzo in between them to kind of break up that whole right. You know, you want to have that lefty in there to kind of break up the viewpoint of a pitcher, so the pitcher can't get accustomed to seeing the same type of hitters up there, so he can just work and work and work and work. But
All I'm saying,
Danny, I know Danny wanted to jump in on something there too.
Yeah, I've said this. I'll take this to the grave. Judge is going to get the most opportunities to hit in that 2 spot. I want Judge up more than anybody else throughout the duration of the game. All right. I do think there's merit to batting Giancarlo second, just because when you're hot, you're hot, and Giancarlo is one of those dudes that when he gets going, he's a tough out. So you could definitely do like a Stanton, Judge, Rizzo type of situation. I kind of like the Bader leading off idea, but I like him at the bottom of the lineup too. Maybe Ozzy, Oswaldo at the top of that lineup, but maybe Glaber's putting a little too much pressure on himself batting leadoff. So that is something to consider changing at some point in time. It may not be tomorrow. It may come on Saturday. If Glaber has another bad game, then yeah, you have to really consider moving him from that leadoff spot.
Well, I mean, Glaber's batting 130 this offseason, this postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Judge is batting 167.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone else. I mean, everyone. Rizzo's the only one that's really batting well at 316.
Yeah, but
you know.
Do you have like the walk and strikeout numbers for Glaber?
No, I don't have those in front of me right now. I'm trying. I need to get those. But
yeah, because he's not getting on base either. No homers, no RBIs. So maybe he's putting a little bit too much pressure on himself. So it'll be interesting to see what they do tomorrow with the lefty on the bump. I do, Dave. I like your idea of putting Oswaldo back and left, DHing Stanton, and Donaldson's probably going to get that. Be ready for tomorrow when that lineup comes out. Donaldson's going to get ABs at third.
Donaldson will be at third
ridiculous.
base.
It's
Donaldson will be at third base, and
ridiculous.
IKF is going to be back at shortstop. But
To me,
there's not
this
going to
is
really be a big change. They're not going to really do a big change, I don't think. And
that's absolutely ridiculous. That's just sending a message that you don't want to win. I mean, I don't give a damn if he's a Gold Glove third baseman. He is not producing. Therefore, you are taking at-bats away from somebody else that deserves to have at-bats. Like, this is the postseason. This isn't a time for guys to be, quote, trying to figure stuff out. You should already have this stuff figured out by the time this time of the year comes around. And he's been a consistent 226 hitter the entire season. That's what's pissing me off. It sends the wrong message to the team that he can go out there and have subpar, uncompetitive at-bats and still end up in the lineup every day. That's where I have a problem with it.
The redemption story is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't see it.
Danny, I will say this. I love your optimism. I do. I'm not even messing around. I love the optimism because there's times that because you and I talked earlier in the season when I turned to you and I said, you know, when I first got on IKF, like, no, this doesn't look good here. And I told you that back in I think April or May that I said this does not look good at all. And your first thing to me was early in the season, just let it ride. maybe you're maybe you're right. And then I was like, no, you gotta go.
Well, my thing, like, I always have a ball player's perspective. I don't have a fan's perspective to this stuff. I'm a ball player. I think like the ball player, and you really like, dude. Like you're in the clubhouse, you're in the dugout, you're in the locker room. You're seeing these dudes. They're trying. It's not like they're not trying. Like baseball's hard. It's so hard.
No, you're
I'm
right.
not saying it's easy
in the world.
You're right, but at some point, a couple of guys, a day off might do them well. You know what I'm saying? Like a Donaldson,
Yeah,
a day off could
100%.
do him well.
I agree.
An IKF, a day off might do him well. He got benched for what for almost 2.5, 3 games. He got benched game 4, game 5 in the DS. So I mean, the time off might do some of these guys well, just to get away, get their mind off the at bats, off of what's going on, and just really focus. The only thing I could see that the reason why that Donaldson's still there is because the offensive side is not bleeding into the defensive side of his play. And so if he gives it like Dave said, a gold glove caliber type of defense, they'll live with whatever happens. Because if he can get behind one, then then everyone's going to fall in love with Donaldson all over again for at least a day.
But how many times does that actually happen? He hasn't hit a home run since I think they said September 17th.
It's bad. No,
Right.
he's been bad.
Offensively, he's been bad all season, but he's making up for it on the defensive side. Is what it comes down to. And the Yankees made a fundamental change this past season to focus more on defense than they have on offense.
Okay, but defense is only going to get you so far. You need to drive in runs to win baseball games. Making outs saves you runs, but if you can't keep the ball in the ballpark, it doesn't mean anything. You need guys to hit the ball and get on base and drive in runs to win baseball games.
That's why he stopped batting him 5th.
Or just have him grab some pine, grab the bench, dude. Sit down.
Oh. I think moving him out of that 5th spot is going to do a lot more than having him ride the pine at this point. Unless you have the left side be IKF and Peraza, and you commit to that. But I don't see them sitting Donaldson right now. I just don't. And now with the lefty on the mound tomorrow, maybe a perfect time would be game 3.
Maybe
because Garrett Cole is a fly ball pitcher, so you're not going to be getting many ground balls to the left side. And then at that point in time, you can go Peraza IKF on the left side or Oswaldo and IKF, whatever the case may be.
Well, definitely when they move back to Yankee Stadium, you know that Stanton's going back to DH. They're not going to put him in that cavernous left field. So Cabrera will probably man left field again. And like you said, that might be the time to move Donaldson to the bench or move him over to DH. Oh no, Stanton's at DH. Never mind that. But maybe tomorrow is a perfect time to do Stanton at DH. Stanton play left field. Let Donaldson DH, IKF third, Peraza short, and kind of play that game that way.
Well, I'm not playing Donaldson unless he's playing third. I don't see those are vacant at bats in DH.
No, you're right. No, you're 100% right about that. But I definitely think by the time you get back to Yankee Stadium, it should be more the way I say it, Cabrera in left field, IKF third, and Peraza shortstop, and let it ride that way. See what happens. And then, put IKF at in your one hole, followed by Judge or Stanton. You can flip flop the two of them at some point.
IKF should never see anything above like 6.
No, I get what you're saying, but if nobody else is hitting, then you got to get somebody up there. You got to get someone on base.
It's not going to be. I prefer Oswaldo. I prefer Harrison Bader.
Why not Peraza at that point? Peraza's been benched for too long, but you get him some decent at bats.
I mean, honestly, I'd be okay with testing out IKF in the leadoff hole.
I know you guys say that, but it's just
he had the second highest batting average on the team. He's a contact hitter and always seems to run into one once in a while and get on base. Look at his first at bat against Verlander tonight. The reason why he was bad in the lineup against Verlander is because he had an .847 on base percentage against Justin Verlander. This is the postseason, man. You got to.
It's not going to be IKF. IKF is never going to hit leadoff for this team. Never. Get that.
Well, you got to do
that
something to figure something out to win ball games.
It's not going to be IKF. It's not going to be IKF.
I
like
needs to be somebody.
Bader. I like Oswaldo. It's not going to be IKF. IKF is going to. Did you see what he did later in the game? And you want that in the ninth inning to get on base? No. IKF is never going to hit leadoff. That is the worst idea. A lot of Yankee fans have this idea just because he could hit 260, he could hit leadoff. No.
I look at it as that he's one of the guys that hit. So if you can get him somewhere that he can hit in front, get him somewhere that he can hit. I don't care if it's 9, but as long as you get someone in the 1 hole that's hitting, you get him on base, get people on base for your Judges, your Stantons, your Rizzos, Glabers, Donaldson. Well, Donaldson's is a vacant is not even worth it. But for those 3, you get people on base for him. I don't care if he's 1. I don't care if he's 9. Do like the old Brett Gardner thing when your 9 hole was kind of like your false 1. You know what I mean? Like you can have it that way.
I'm cool with that because he's going to get less opportunities to hit. I don't want more opportunities for IKF to hit. And that's what it comes down to.
That I get you, but you know what the problem is? That they'll turn around and put Peraza at number 9 in the number 9 hole for some godforsaken reason instead of IKF. And I'm sitting there banging on the Peraza drum right now a bit, you know, because I personally believe that he is a better ball player in totality than IKF is, and he's shown it in the minor leagues, but he's never really gotten the chance to show in the big leagues. But that's another thing, right? That's a whole nother ball game right there.
What
and
concerns me
and David on the chat asked, do we like the 2-3-2 format? I do like that because I don't think that going the flying of the 2-2-1-1-1 is worthwhile. Doing all that time. I think that's 2-3-2 works just fine.
Where my concern is with Peraza, I hope this yo-yo that the Yankees have him on isn't messing with his head. Number 3 prospect in the system gets left off the DS roster, gets benched for most of the month of September, and basically gets told he's nothing more than a pinch runner and a defensive replacement, but somehow is the shortstop of the future. Like, I'm just like all of this mixed together. I just hope it doesn't screw with his head.
If he's that fickle, he doesn't deserve to be our shortstop. Period. Bottom line.
Mean, they're gonna put him on the roster, let him play. That's
You're a rookie, bro. You have no say in this. You're there to do your job. The manager tells you you're going to be a pinch runner. Guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to be pinch running. The manager tells you you're going to be a defensive replacement. That's what you're going to be doing. You're there to do your job and to do what your manager tells you. If you have that huge ego, in certain cases, having a big ego like that is going to be a benefit. But you're a rookie. You know your role. Do your job. And once 2023 comes, hopefully – he puts himself in a position to challenge for that spot. If anything, this motivates him because he's like, you know what? I know I'm better than a pinch runner, than a defensive replacement. I know I can hit big league pitching. So let me go out here and do what I got to do. But in the meantime, do your job.
Manny, lay it on us, bro. Let's go.
No. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna go around the corner again with you guys. I mean, I think everybody's made some valid points. I think we're all frustrated. I think at some point it just comes down to you should have finished Cleveland. You should have finished them by game 2, or whatever, game 3, you should have just this ball club under Aaron Boone. If there's anything that we've learned, it's gonna go up and down, and when it's up, doesn't seem like up is happening when it needs to be happening in crucial situations. Now, whether you say it's the players on the roster, whether you say, listen, I hear you guys about Josh Donaldson. But at the same time, maybe Boone doesn't trust anybody besides him at that spot. And that's an issue, right? Because then you should have fixed that in the trading deadline. But then we all know what happens. Certain players actually perform, other players don't. Somebody gets hurt, somebody doesn't do this. I think when it comes down to if you get called tomorrow and you're wearing that jersey, you got to be able to show the fuck up, bro. At this point of saying that this guy should be here, that shouldn't be what should be going on, man. You are 3 games away from once again wasting a season that we're going to be talking, all of us in the offseason, that's going to be like, okay, so here we go, right? It's the same roller coaster, dude. And again, all three of you guys, and I'm sure with Alex, you guys had all great points. But I think at this point, whether we want this, we want this guy out, this guy in, I truly feel you having to go longer with Cleveland, I think might have probably killed the crap out of you. And now you're dealing with trying to fix the Band-Aids with Neil Spore. And when in reality, you should have been out of the situation after game 3 or 4, dude. And then unfortunately, listen, baseball gods, weather delays, it is what it is, man. Listen, if you want to say anything, Houston probably had to play 2 games on Saturday, but nobody's talking about that. But whatever, dude, like, you've got to give those boys credit, man. Listen, Justin Verlander was shit in game 1, came out in game 2, gave up an early homer, and since then, like, it's just it felt like we were facing the Astros once again. Now, have we faced what's the name of the pitcher tomorrow? McCullers?
Valdez.
Oh, Valdez. Okay, so then McCullers is game 3
in the regular season.
Okay.
No, yeah, I think McCullers game 3 or game 4, but McCullers. I mean, he was injured. I mean, he had Tommy John surgery. I think
correct.
He had some little injuries this year too.
He's on the mound tomorrow, correct?
Sevy.
Sevy's on the mound tomorrow. I told this to a lot of Yankee fans all day. I said, if we're gonna win this series, Sevy needs to give us those 2 wins, man. I don't know how. I don't know how it's going to happen, but he cannot go out after 5. He cannot go out after 6. But again, what if you have a great, spectacular performance by Sevy and your offense scores 2 runs? You're not going to win, regardless.
Oh, that's the case what we were talking about earlier.
That's the issue, bro. This fucking, excuse my English, long ball mentality. It doesn't work in the postseason, and we've been seeing it for how long already?
It does work in the postseason.
That does. Astros, and
if you out homer,
if
you out homer your opponent, you win in the playoffs,
bro.
It's proven.
No, so that's no, Danny. On this team, Danny. It is not proven.
The reason. Hold on. I'm going to step. Oh, guys. I'm going to step in. I'm going to step in for a second. Danny's right that it's proven that if you out homer your opponent, you win. On Manny's point, for this team, it doesn't work because there is too much swing and miss on this team. If we cut down on the swing and miss, and hit the home runs,
Mark,
then
what
it's a wrap.
happened to getting on base by trying to bunt? What happened to once you get on base, you try to create havoc for the fucking pitcher? You don't do anything
because we don't have
base, and you're like, okay, let's see if somebody hits a double long or a home run.
That's because we don't have a team that does that. Our team is built. Our team is built. Well, our team is built for the power, and with that power comes the strikeouts.
What drives me nuts is how many times did the Houston Astros put the entire friggin' infield on the right field side of the field with this big, huge hole on the third base side.
And we can hit opposite. We can never hit
our baseline.
It always comes out to be a strikeout or a damn fly ball to that side. It's like these guys are professional hitters, man. Like
you can't slap the ball down the third baseline and get a double
on game 1.
Listen, we could be upset all we want. We got to win tomorrow.
Oh, no,
it doesn't matter
how. No doubt we're going to win tomorrow, Danny, because if we don't win tomorrow, bro, we're not going back to Houston.
Tomorrow.
We're not going back to Houston. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, and David, to your point, the shift also is piggyback with how you
better on the road than it does at home. Okay?
You don't think Nestor Cortez and Garrett Cole, if they don't, obviously we don't deserve to win. But
no,
you don't
I trust them. I trust them. I don't trust the offense with this pitching. I just don't. I'm sorry.
Houston's pitching is very good.
I don't. Yes, it is. It's fucking elite, and it sucks because these guys can have guys that we saw tonight, Harris in general, come out of the bullpen and fucking challenge the shit out of you. Yes, we hit a home run and we got people on base, but then what? It's like they'll give up 1 or 2. They'll give up 1 or 2.
Strikeout, bases loaded.
An amazing guys on. To end the inning, and then he comes out to the next one and gets back-to-back home runs. Come on, man. All right, I'm done.
What were you saying?
I really appreciate you guys.
We'll be okay.
Well, we gotta win tomorrow, bro. And if Sevy doesn't come through, I really don't know where this team goes from here, man.
Because Sevy's got that dog. Sevy's got that dog in him.
I'm saying I trust Sevy. Will we be able to see the offense wake the F up? That's the question. And it needs to start hitting.
So here's the
will.
thing. So what you and Dave were talking about earlier, which was about the shift, everyone being shifted over to the right hand side or left hand side, whichever way it's going to be shifted. Don't forget the pitchers pitching the batters to push to have them hit
Yeah, to
into
go to
that.
that side. I know. I'm just
So it's a twofold thing. Like we can sit
yeah,
here and
but
say,
you're
oh,
also a professional hitter, though. Like, you mean to tell me that whatever swinging mechanic you haven't practiced hitting the ball the other way, no matter what pitch is coming at you? Because it takes 3 strikes to get you out, right? So you mean to tell me that these pitchers are human and are basically like not
Cyborgs.
going to throw the pitch in the same area? No, they're gonna miss 1 or 2 pitches. The thing is, you have to counter when those pitches become available. You don't swing at high, you don't swing at low. You got to make sure you create contact some way and somehow. And striking out is not one of them.
Did you see the Matt Carpenter at bats today? They
Bro,
were pounding them.
that Carpenter at bat against Harris, right? No, against Presley. Oh my god, bro. I don't want to.
All of his at bats.
Yeah, no, they were pounding them.
I mean, because I was actually
fastballs.
working tonight, so I really couldn't watch the whole game till probably after the 7th.
Yeah.
Now
So
I lost my.
they were pounding them
cool.
in with fastballs,
Mhm.
and then they were
Well,
throwing
because Carpenter's
the
going to
breaking balls
swing at
behind.
anything that's fast. Unfortunately, we've come to notice that. Like, whatever's it. So.
no, but Carpenter will go for the fastballs. But Dane's right; they were pounding him inside with fastballs and then just throwing him hooks, and he couldn't recognize the hook
Couldn't
at all.
fucking lay off. He couldn't lay off either.
He hasn't
Just-
played in
And there-
2 months. What do you expect?
And there were no
That's
mistakes
right,
to
bro.
hit.
Well,
Verlander did a great job of pitching to him because he didn't throw him any mistake pitches.
Yeah.
Same thing
Yeah,
with Presley.
so glad we didn't
So-
sign him this offseason. Who'd want him? Another thing, another offseason sign that could have been that came back and bit us in the ass. Weird.
By the way, I don't blame Montas coming in that game in that situation, man. I mean, he's never.
Oh, I knew he was going to give up the home run. I just knew it.
You could see it on his
This
face,
isn't
though,
gonna-
right? When he was
This isn't going
warming
to end
up.
well.
Yes, the fear of him kind of showing like, fuck, like if I give up any more, like it's really gonna be real. It's just, man,
Yeah.
bro, this Houston team is really good, bro. And as much as we want to say that our guys can't have to be better, like Dusty Baker was out there with black latex gloves, looking like he was ready to cut a brisket. Like he was ready to celebrate, bro. Like, come on, dude. Like, you think he was sweating today? No, bro. When Bader hit that home run, you think he's like, oh my god? No, it was Bader. It wasn't Judge or Stanton, man. He's not worried. Fucking Justin Verlander went out there and just made sure he did his 100 pitches, gave up that 1 run. All right, guys. I know my offense eventually. Pena, Alvarez, Gurriel, somehow, some ways. And yet, the more frustrating part is that they beat us what we do best, is hit homers. That's what it was. So, all right, boys, let's get ready for game 2, man. It's a long night.
You know what? Let's
All right.
wrap this up and head and get ready for game 2.
Well, to everybody watching and following along with us tonight, thanks for attending this group therapy session. Hope it was very therapeutic for everybody. I know it was for us. I probably won't wake up mad in the morning, but we'll see. Check out our sponsors, man. Check out our link tree. Get your game tickets for games 3, 4, and 5 in the Bronx. SeatGeek, Bronx Muchachos, all capitalized. Save yourself $20. We got our online store, BM20, saves you 20% site wide. Lids, whatever promo code they offer tomorrow. Go get yourself some fresh gear. Everyone listening internationally, we thank you. For Alex, Danny, and Mark, and myself, see you guys tomorrow night. Hopefully, we have better results. Bronx Muchachos signing off.